Winning the Region 4 championship was extremely surreal. It's something that when we took this job as a staff, it's no secret. I've been pretty adamant about it. Our goal was to get to the national tournament and to make this a program that's a top 10, 15, 20 team in the country, year in and year out. We kind of want to become that junior college here in Wisconsin that people talk about. And so this was a massive step in that direction. Obviously, our goal is to continue to build on it. But, just going through it, it was extremely surreal. Like I said, when we won that game at Rock Valley, just the happiness, the joy that our guys had, our coaching staff, you could see that it meant so much to so many different people, including administration here, Ryan, Greg, guys like yourself being around for the ride. Like, I think it meant a lot for our entire school. So the other thing I'm proud of is we had extreme family support. Like when we were at Rock Valley, there was a wave of blue that were sitting in that middle section. And to me, that's something we want to continue to build on. And so it's kind of a good lesson. Like at the end of the day, you recruit really good people, you get really good families. Like the support's going to be unreal. And that's what I'm most proud of. Like just seeing the joy, even the families, hugs and kisses after game, and just seeing, that's pretty special. We every year since I've been here these last 2 seasons, we've started every year with doing a fundraiser out in the Dells where we worked coaches clinic for WBCA. And this year our guys were demonstrators again, and we could tell that weekend that we had a really special group of people. We had a lot of coaches that were coming up to us talking about, man, you got some elite kids. Like you got something brewing over there. You got an opportunity to have a really good season. And that's when we kind of knew that, okay, we got the right people in the room. Now we got to coach them up. We got to hold them to really high standards and hold them accountable on a daily basis. And it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And the growth that we made from the beginning of the season to the end of the season is tremendous. It was the kind of group where you got better each and every week. And that's what made it fun to coach. It was a lot of fun to coach. We had really good people, like I said. But the biggest thing is these guys got better every single week. Our leading score averaged, 11, 12 points a game. We had 12 or 13 guys that scored in double figures this year, I'm pretty sure. But the one thing that I'm most proud of is, from a basketball standpoint, is these guys played as hard as anybody in the country all season long. I think that was the most evident thing about these guys. And to me, that is the ultimate compliment, just talking with other coaches that have watched us play. Like, man, kids play really, really hard. They're really disciplined, and they share the basketball. It was a different guy every single game. And it's really challenged my philosophy here moving forward, because at the end of the day, like, it was next man up mentality, and we didn't lose a beat, and that's pretty rare. So we were extremely fortunate. I still go back to, like, you got to have really good people. People talk about culture all the time. I'll tell you what, culture starts and ends with the people that are in the room, and we had really good people, and that's what we're going to continue to emphasize here, because at the end of the day, people win. And if you got winners, you got people that impact winning on a daily basis, you got a chance. And I think that's what was special about this group. We talked about this early in the year. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything, and on the court, off the court. But more importantly, we talked about the type of teams that stay together for life are championship teams. I've been a part of a couple championship teams. I've been extremely fortunate, and I still talk to a lot of those guys on a weekly, monthly basis. And those are the teams that are together for life, and that's something we talked about, and that's something that we strive for. And I'm just happy because this group deserves everything that they earned this year, and the fact that those guys are going to be brothers for life is pretty special. And someday when I get married, they get married. Like, I can tell you, like, they're going to be there, period. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, first off, it's not easy to do what we did this year. It's not easy to win a championship. It's not easy to get to the national tournament. Winning's really, really hard. It's really hard. So the biggest thing is we got to keep focusing on what allowed us to win, okay? So the things that come to mind for me is, we got to do a really good job of recruiting again. We got to bring in really high character people. We got to bring in talented players, but at the same point in time, like, you got to check the boxes as far as being a high character person to be able to play here, period. How do you impact winning? So I think that's the first step, is just kind of continuing to raise that standard as far as the type of guys that we're going to get in here. Then I think the next step is, can we build on it? Can we turn this into something that's sustainable? Can we get back to the national tournament again? And can we take that next step? Is kind of, this was like a welcome party as far as I'm concerned. Yes, we're really happy with what we did, but I don't think it's a secret. We want to build this thing into a powerhouse. We want to be the kind of team that's in the top 10 to 15 in the country year in and year out, that's competing for a national tournament berth every single year. That's the goal. That's the goal. Can we get it to the point where we can make a run at it? Can we get to the national tournament and find a way to make some noise? I think that's something that we learned as a coaching staff this year. We still got a lot of work to do. So as good as everything went this year, we're extremely happy, but we're not resting on our laurels. We're back grinding. It's back to figuring out like how we're going to continue to get better. Even as far as our coaching staff. I think the standards for our players got to continue to rise, and I think our standards for the coaching staff have to continue to rise, because at the end of the day, it's a whole organization. And the one thing I've learned about winning is, you're only as good as your weakest link. And the thing is, we got to continue to improve as both the coaching staff and players. At the end of the day, it's everybody that's in that locker room has to take it a step further than what we did this year. And I'll tell you this, we're motivated. I'm sure people are sitting there like, yeah, Brian Stratton, nice year, Region 4, this, that, and whatever. I'm sure people are talking. Like, whatever they're talking about, it doesn't matter. We're not worried about it. I'll be honest. I felt like this year, throughout the season, I didn't feel like we necessarily earned quite the respect like that I thought we deserved at times, whether it was in the national rankings, just whether it was in the region in general. I'm sure there's people that are like, yeah, it's a flash in the pan. I'll tell you what, that's the stuff that motivates us. When you got coaches that are like, the region's down this year, this, that, and whatever, I'll tell you what, we took it as disrespect. And so I still think about those conversations. I still think about the comments. I'm really good at taking mental notes, and trust me, I got plenty of them. I send our guys, I've been sending guys texts every day like, hey, just so you know, this is what guys said about you this year. So our biggest thing right now is making sure that these guys are strong academically, that they're in the weight room, and that they're getting ready to, prime themselves to have a good spring and summer when they get back home. Enjoy your time with your family, but just know this: when we get back next fall, it's go time. We're ready to work, and we've got big goals. So I'm not really afraid to say that either. Like, we've got 7-8 guys that are coming back, 3 guys that started, but make no mistake about it, complacency will not be something that exists here. We are going to bring in guys that are going to come in, they're going to compete. I like to call it stirring the pot. I don't want anybody to think that just because they're here part of this a year ago that you're going to be able to take the summer off and that you're going to just come in and hit the ground running. That's not realistic. So we're continuing to raise the standard with the talent, the guys are coming in, and character, period.